Okay. Now we are going to start this module with a very simple question after we discussed, what are the features of recruitment and what is the meaning of an objective of recruitment. So I have this question. Let us discuss that. See, if I tell you that you think of a firm, you want to submit job application, then which factors attract you towards the company, right? We just saw like the basics of introduction. We understood what is recruitment and what is the objective of recruitment. So that is from the employer point of view. But now just think from the employee perspective. Like just let's say that you want to apply for a job in the organization. Let's say after you finish your MBAs, obviously you are all are looking forward to, mostly all of you are looking forward to join the corporates. So then, which company have you ever thought which company you want to join, or have you ever thought which industry you want to join? Do you want to enter into a banking industry, or do you want to join, let's say, steel industry or any other manufacturing industry? Or what other things appeal you, right? Do you want to get into cement, or do you want to get into tiles, or what do you want to get into? So you have to decide, something at least, so that you can study those industries while you are also learning, like through your MBAs and all that. You should always think well in advance that what you want to do. Now suppose some of you might already be working in that industry, so you can always think that is it the right place, where you are happy working like this. Is this something that you always wanted to do, or is this something that you had it in your mind whenever you are working? So this is something that you can always keep in your mind whenever you're working. Now, why am I asking you this question, which industry and which company? Because there are certain factors which is attracting you to work towards that company. So which are those factors that is attracting you to work towards the company? Like that there must be something, right? Or let's say that if you're looking forward to join an organization, let's say if you're looking forward to join a bank, so then if you say that, okay, I want to join HDFC Bank, like it is my dream bank, so then what is attracting you? Is the money that is attracting you? Is the brand name that is attracting you, or some benefits or incentives they are giving, or is it the culture of the bank, that's attracting you? There must be something that's attracting you towards joining the organization. And who told you about all these things, right? Have you spoken to an insider? Did you speak to somebody who's already worked for HDFC Bank, or did you speak to somebody who's already working in an HDFC Bank at the moment, or did you read a lot about HDFC Bank in the news that you got to know, or you realized, or you felt that, yeah, I want to be part of this organization? So these factors, there are certain factors which always attract you towards the company, and that's why you want to submit a job application over there. Now think from the employer point of view, right? Suppose you own HDFC Bank, then don't you wish that there should be more and more people who should be willing to apply for the HDFC Bank? So how do you want your bank to be, right? How are you going to create your bank? So let's say that, I mean, do you want to be a best pay maker in the market? Do you want to pay like great? Do you want to pay like really good compared to your competitors, that people should like just willing to be part of your organization, your bank? Or do you also want to give some extra benefits? Or let's say that the working environment, the atmosphere is so positive that, yeah, everybody want to be part of it. Or you as a top management, you are so supportive, so good, that everybody want to be part of it, right? So this is always from both the parties, both the perspectives. In fact, this in this time, there is a concept which is called employer branding. So the company, the management is so much concerned about creating a very good brand for themselves, so that people should be willing, to be part of that organization, rather than the company making an effort, to invite more and more applications. So it makes a difference, it makes a huge difference. So that's why, if you haven't thought, let's say if you are a fresher, then I'm sure you would like to think that which company I want to be part of. Or if you, let's say you are already a working professional, then also you can think that is this the right organization where I want to work, or after 1 year, after 2 years, after 5 years, there is somewhere else where I would like to go and work because that's my dream of organization, right? So anyway, this is just on a lighter note we are beginning, and now I'm going to take you through the process of recruitment. So I'm just reading the slide. The recruitment process is concerned with the procedure for the identification and classification of the potential source of human resources, supply, and effectively utilizing those sources. Right? So this is like mainly what it is concerned with, like identifying and classifying the sources of HR supply mainly. So now how does the process goes like? There are 5 steps basically in this process. First one, the process of recruitment will always begin with HR planning. First step. Now, so like human resource planning, we already discussed as a chapter. Now, you already know what is human resource planning, and at that time also I told you that whenever you are making some plans, at least you know that is there a shortage of HR in the organization. If there is a shortage, then yes, how will you cover that up? So you would like to recruit more employees in the organization, so that in order to overcome that situation, right? So you will be hiring more people, and that's where the next step is recruitment. If the people were in excess, if there were a lot of people working over the same project, and if you feel they are not required, then you could easily transfer them to other departments or make them do other work, or at the end layoff is an option. But when we are talking about recruitment, it always begins with human resource planning, because when you plan, you exactly know how many candidates are needed, you exactly understand what kind of employees are needed. That's where job analysis, you when you do job analysis, you also prepare job description and job specification statements to understand, to identify what kind of people are needed in the organization, right? And in a particular job, what tasks and what responsibilities are to be fulfilled. So that is about human resource, that is about job analysis. And after that, we saw the entire HR plans to know how many employees are needed. So if you remember, we discussed like HR forecasting techniques, demand side, and HR forecasting techniques, supply side. And after that comes recruitment. So here, first step is human resource planning. Once you plan, you will determine the strategy, because you definitely need some strategy, that how will you get the people. It's very important. You need to devise some strategy, as in, if 10 employees are needed, then I don't think it is possible to hire all 10, let's say the best ones, the experienced ones, because you will have to pay them like that. So what organization does is, they will divide the same into different groups, like let's say 5 people most experienced, 3 people less experienced, maybe 2 of them could be a fresher. So they don't even have to pay more than, and they can train more people. So depending upon your requirement, I'm not saying that this is a standard rule, but depending upon your requirement, you are going to determine the strategy, that okay, if I need 10 employees, then this is how I will be going about it. After that, you will try and evaluate the sources of recruitment, that from where I can hire. So as and how we move ahead, we will be also discussing different sources of recruitment, right? Maybe if you need a fresher, you would like to do a campus recruitment, you would like to go to B schools maybe, and then hire some people. Or if you are looking for some experienced people, then what you can do is, you can advertise in the newspaper. So like that, you can just go through or evaluate different sources of recruitment to understand which works for you. Then the next step is implementation of recruitment methods and strategies. After you evaluate the sources of recruitment, then next come the implementation part. Whatever methods you are selecting, or whatever strategies you are forming, that you will try and implement them. And finally, feedback and control. Finally you will see that you are getting good candidates, So at least you can put control. Suppose you are not able to hire good candidates, let's say through campus recruitment, that means you can go and use different sources. Maybe you can put the ads on LinkedIn, or maybe in the newspaper or somewhere else. So likewise, feedback and control is the last step. After that, obviously you will start with the process of selection, so that will start next. Okay, now we are going to discuss step number 3 in detail. So what is step number 3? Sources of recruitment. So the sources of recruitment, they are mainly divided into two categories. One is internal source and second one is external source. Internal source means within the organization you are trying to share about the job openings, that is internal source. And external source means outside the organization, like advertisements, you are trying to share about the openings, so that is external source. Now let us see which are the internal sources of recruitment. So how can you recruit within the organization? See, first and foremost, the simplest one is promotion. So what is promotion? I'm sure all of you have heard what is promotion, right? If somebody is performing well, then end of the year, they can be promoted to a higher level position. So by doing that, they can get a the position which is vacant can be fulfilled. I think if you remember, in chapter number 1 we discussed one case study in which there was this employee who was a management trainee but was promoted, for a higher level position. So whatever happened later was an unfortunate thing, but in short, there are certain positions within the organization where management also feels that instead of hiring somebody from outside, it is always good to promote within the organization. So promotion is one way of recruiting people. Second one is transfer. Transfer also can be another way of recruiting people. Let's say you transfer a candidate from one department to another department because you feel that yes, they are eligible or they can do well, or maybe they are not even required in one department. So when you transfer them to another department, then at least within the organization you can fulfill the position. Third one, internal advertisements or job posting. So internal ads means, within the organization, company can always put an ad that this is the position which is vacant. If you are interested, you can apply. So many times it happens that, earlier it was manual, as in, whatever openings were there, whatever positions were vacant, they would put the information on the notice board, right? Because earlier IT was not so much developed and flourished, but now it's much easier. Now every company has a website, every mostly company have intranet websites. So within the organization only they can post an ad for the employees, or sometimes they shoot an email, talking or sharing about the positions. So if you feel that yeah, you would like to apply for this particular position, you are eligible, then you can always apply. And at the same time, if you receive that information, you can always share it with people or you think are eligible outside the organization also, which we call employee referral. So anyway, job posting or internal advertisements is one way of internal recruitment. Next one is formal employees. There are certain organizations which invite formal employees. They always feel happy that instead of hiring a fresher and making an effort to train them and hope that they will adjust in the new environment, you wish that you always recall the formal employees back who are willing to join. There are employees who are let's say who left the organization on a good note, positive note, as in somebody, let's say for female employees, somebody was getting married and that's why they relocated to other organization, to other city, or sometimes somebody is on a sabbatical, on a long leave for whatever xyz reason, medical reason or anything, then you can always call them back. So that's one way of internal recruitment, formal employees. The next one is employee referral or recommendation. So this is the most important one. These days, in today's time, 60% of the recruitment is happening through employee referrals. What is referral means? Employees give reference of some individuals, who they feel are eligible for the job, and it's so much easier because or why it is important, because to hire somebody who's not known to you and you don't know how much credible they are, compared to that, you want to hire somebody who's already referred by your own employees, um, because at least that person will be credible, they will not share any wrong documents, or at least that they are aware about the culture, because at least your own employees must have shared how your organization is, how your culture is, and at least they must be happily accepting it, or ready to work. So that's why employee referral or recommendation is very considered an important source of recruitment these days. So these are the sources of internal recruitment. If we just look at the quick example of this is third source, that is, if you remember, I told you about job posting or advertisement within the organization. So Wipro has this thing, Wings Within. So on their intranet website, Wipro has a very popular and transparent job posting system called Wings Within, which is an intranet site to communicate all vacant positions to the employees. So like this, all good companies have one or the other way of sharing or communicating about the positions, job positions which are vacant. Now let us see what are the external sources of recruitment. Take a minute and please go through these sources, then we will discuss. Okay, I hope we can discuss now. Uh, so, when we're talking about various external sources of recruitment, the first one is management consultants. Sorry, I think a word management is repeated over here. So, management consultants, so there are like consultants whose job is to they are called management consultants because their job is to guide the company or help the company with the known references, as in help them recruit the people. So these consultants, they always guide what is the right way of doing it, what is the right source of recruitment, or to fulfill certain positions, where will they find the good employees. So they are like management consultants. So there are certain agencies, actually they are like consultancy firms, who does this thing on the behalf of a company. By taking certain commission or by taking some charges, they will try and find some employees for you, prospective candidates for you. And they also guide, like they will consult, that's why they are called management consultants. Second one is public advertisements, which is very common. Like if you see in the newspaper, there are certain pages or certain columns which are fixed. Whatever job openings are there, you will see that okay, that different columns are there, and in that ads run. Earlier, that was the only source actually, but nowadays ads can be run through even other sources. Like you can see some job ads on Facebook also, you can see on Google also, you can see on LinkedIn also. Likewise, different social media platforms are there through which you can put the ads. So that is another source, public ad.